The following is being presented by EA Gamechangers. Hi guys, Samantha here. Welcome back to my channel and another speed build using the newest stuff pack, Tiny Living Stuff. And just want to remind you guys that I did receive an early access code, compliments of EA Gamechangers, in order to kind of show you guys first look at this pack and kind of show you all the goodies that comes in it. So thank you so much, EA Gamechangers, for that. So anyway, we are on our second speed build from this stuff pack, and like I told you guys in the last one, if you have seen it, if you haven't, you might want to stop and go watch it if you're interested in seeing in what a micro build looks like. And a micro build is a 32 tile restriction on the build, which means it has to be 32 basically 1x1 grids, and it could be top, bottom, basement, deck, just whatever. So I did that one on the last speed build. And also, if you haven't seen the build and the cast videos, you might want to stop and go see those as well, because of course I'm showing you guys me doing a speed build for what's considered the tiny home, which is a 64 restriction, a maximum of 64 tiles, which will be, I guess, essentially between 33 and 64. But if you're going to get the restriction for 64, I'm like, use the whole 64. It doesn't make any sense to not get it all. But anyway, so this one is for this one. But of course, I'm not going to be able to show you guys everything that was in the pack. So you might want to go check out those videos if you're interested in that. So in this particular one, which I think, y'all, I said this in the last speed build over voiceover, this is probably my favorite, if not a very close top 3 of all of my builds I've ever done. It's crazy. I know, spoiler alert, but I'm like dead serious. I love how this build came out. I wanted to play around with the fact that we have 64 tiles that we get to place, but the top floor is considered part of the requirement for those measurements as well. So I wanted to play around with doing that and having like a loft type style upstairs, where it was like you go upstairs and it's just open. There's no rooms, there's no doors or anything. They just kind of go upstairs and you just are there. And for some reason in my head, whenever I make builds, y'all, I always have like a story or sim that would live there, so I can kind of like customize that build for that sim. And this sim is a writer. Isn't that stereotypical? I know, but she's kind of like one of those that is probably a very, she uses is it called a pseudonym when you use a fake name? You don't even use your real name as an author. And this is the story that I have for her. But she writes romance novels, but herself is unlucky in love. She's unflirty. Like, she doesn't even want to like be flirtatious with people. She doesn't even probably want to participate in PDA. She's just kind of all around awkward, but she writes like these crazy romance novels. Ignore my roof technique right now, y'all. I figure it out in a second. But anyway, it was driving me up the wall because I wanted to do these little, okay, let me finish telling my story anyway. well, let's pause the story, because I hate when I do voiceovers and I'm like trying to edit. I'm like looking at my speed up while I'm talking to you guys and it's throwing me off. I wanted to do the little corners like that because I wanted it to look rounded, so it could kind of have like a I don't know, just a different, I didn't want to do the same rectangular build. So I noticed if you do a corner and you do 2 of them, it actually takes away a tile. So doing 2 corners is 1 less tile, if that makes any sense, because I actually had exceeded by I think by 2, and when I rounded those corners off, it took the 2 away. So just a little note there for you if you want to play around with the dimensions and do something fun with the exterior as opposed to it just being like a rectangle. You could do that. And eventually I figured out the roof, but I didn't like how the back looked, so I kept changing it, trying to like make the back look a little bit more interesting. But I actually used, I want to say that is a septagon roof. I think it wasn't the octagon, and I think it was the hexagon roof, whatever. It was one of those little squared off like stop sign looking roofs, for lack of better words. I can't remember which one I used. And I put the triangular roof up against it to kind of make it look flush. And surprisingly, the tile and everything looked uniform. I was so surprised I was able to do that, y'all. I am not good with roofs, and this one definitely challenged me. But anyway, so the person that lives here, she probably writes these amazing romance novels, and people are probably like standing outside. It's like if the book is released January 21st, people are standing outside like ready to get it. Like, the store opens at 9, people are like out at 7 o'clock. You know what I'm saying? Like, to get it, because people are just like so in love with her novels. But her herself, like if you would see her, you'd be like, there's no way that's the girl who wrote this book, because she's, she's probably single. Nothing's wrong with that. She wants love. She's just so awkward. She just doesn't know how to get like the love that she wants, if that makes any sense. So she kind of lives vicariously through her characters in her writing. So I wanted to make sure she had a space for a desk. I gave her like a little laptop because even though she is probably like this world renowned writer and probably has like, I don't know, millions of, not maybe not millions of, well, yeah, millions of fans. Yeah, I'll say maybe not millions, but yeah, authors can have millions of fans, and she probably can like, do very well financially. I can imagine that because she has like such a giving spirit and a loving spirit, and she doesn't get a chance to outwardly show it, that she'd probably give to charities a lot. And so she kind of lives meager and just enjoys being comfortable and cozy in her home. And she has a dog too, by the way, because I was determined to put some doggy stuff in this house. I was going to do a cat, but then the more I was putting stuff in here, I was like, I don't have space for a litter box and a bowl and possibly a scratching post. But with the dog, I got a bed, and I guess you could buy a couple toys and scatter them on the floor, which I didn't do that. I should have done that. But I did get like a bed and a bowl in there and was able to successfully have her and her pup in here. So anyway, I was playing around with the living room, as you guys could kind of see. Oh, now I'm back upstairs messing with the stairs, but playing around with the living room. I wanted to section off the kitchen. I wanted it to look like it wasn't one big room. So I ended up using a half wall to separate the kitchen and the living room, and using the wall mounted television for the TV, for the entertainment stand or whatever. And I think it came out really cute. I absolutely love the furniture in this pack. And it's not even like the furniture itself. Like, I mean, it's just furniture. Shapes are just like, they are what they are. But the colors are just amazing to me. I love the way how they coordinated the pillows with the swatches. They actually have like a palette, and each piece has like a coordinating matching piece that doesn't look exactly like it, but it complements it. If that makes any sense. And I really enjoyed that about this pack, because personally, I'm not really good at mixing colors and stuff like that. So it was really easy to kind of like play around with the oranges and the greens. And, it's not something that I would probably traditionally do, which, I don't know, it made me feel a little bit more at liberty to play with it, if it makes any sense, because everything was just so cohesive and it looked really nice. And, like, who would put like orange couches and these turquoise teal turquoise teal seats in their house? But she would. She likes like a lot of bright living and a lot of bright space or whatever. But she is a loner, so it's like one of those things. But anyway, so that's the sim that I kind of had in mind for this spot. And I don't know why I do that, but as I'm building them, I'm kind of like, okay, who do I want to live here? And I kind of came up with that story and just kind of like went with it from there. And so anyway, I did want her to have like a fully functioning kitchen. So the last build I did, if you guys saw that, which was kind of like the monochromatic bachelor pad, I guess you could call it. This one I wanted to put cabinets and counters so she can have multitude of space. Maybe she'll play around with cooking and stuff like that, kind of doing all that. So here I am kind of playing around with the bathroom situation. I did it again where I wanted to put a full size shower in there. It's possible, but something has to give. Like, I could either have like the seating area, which I ended up going with anyway, or I could have the shower. I couldn't have both. So I ended up opting to have the seating area, which when I think about it, we probably didn't need it since she's kind of like this loner sim and she lives by herself or whatever. But, if ever came the opportunity she wanted to entertain, at least she had seating for two, and that's probably more so what I was more concerned about than anything. But I do know that if I would have been able to punch that wall out at least one more square, one more tile, I would have been able to put a full shower in there. And it would have functioned because it fit the little restraints of the little green barrier that they put on all the stuff. But anyway, so I ended up doing that. I wanted to play around the color on the walls. So I opted to put this really, I think that is from, what pack is that from, that tile? I want to say it's not Jungle Adventures. It's one of those ones that you wouldn't guess would be in that pack, but I like the fact that it had the green and the gray and it kind of tied together. It kind of ties together the furniture and stuff. So I ended up going with that and just kind of like playing around with different wall colors. And I think that's probably the reason why this was probably one of my favorite builds, one of my most favorite builds I've ever done, is for the reason that I did play around a lot with color, which you guys will see. It doesn't look like I did, but if you guys have seen any of my builds before, I swear to you, this is probably the boldest I've ever done. I'm not kidding you. I mean, who puts orange and like turquoise together on the wall? I did this time. I'm not kidding you guys. And I really, really like how it came out. As a matter of fact, when I finished playing this and I play tested it with the sim that ended up being the author that I kind of made her based on like the story and everything that I created for her. I played in it for like a couple sim days. I was like, this is a cool house. So that says a lot. Sometimes I could just build a house and just move on from it and just be like, all right, I'll stick it in the gallery. But I actually played in this house for a little bit, and I really liked how cozy and light and bright it felt, because you think like it's a small space, you're going to feel cramped, but with the colors and everything, I think everything just made it feel that more cozy and comfortable. But it was open. And that's the weirdest thing, because it was so bright, it gave like this open feeling. So anyway, I did majority of the walls down here to match the backsplash, which was like that turquoisey aqua blue green color, sea green color, I guess you could say. I made the center wall here like a dark gray to bring in the gray from the tile. And then I did that accent wall where the TV and stuff is, that orange that kind of like brought in the orange from the furniture and the chairs and all that type of stuff. So that's what I opted to do on here. And I wanted to do some under cabinet lightings just so she could have like some ambiance. Maybe she'll cut all her lights off and just have under cabinet lightings, because she does have a dog. And some people, when they have a dog, like I know when my dog was still living, we would have like a night light for him so he can kind of like maneuver. We had night lights, like I think in 3 different places downstairs. He can maneuver and not get tripped up or whatever. So I just came up with the idea, like, let's put some under cabinet lighting, because she would probably leave that on when she goes to bed. And so the dog can like come and go and do what she needs to do as she's maneuvering around the house in the middle of the night, because her dog ends up being like a very curious, sleuthy type dog, which is so funny. She's kind of like naughty or whatever. She's probably like the total opposite of her owner. She would go up to strangers and say hi, and she would like when they would go for walks, she probably would pull her towards other dogs or pull her towards other owners that have dogs, and she'd probably be mortified, like, don't bring me by them, you know. So, you know, the most beautiful romantic story for this would be, for her, would be if her dog did make her go to an owner of a dog and they ended up having like a love at first sight type situation. I think that'd be so cute. Oh yeah, I'm a hopeless romantic, I guess. I don't even know why. But anyway, so here I am doing the kitchen, y'all. I'm not the kitchen, the bathroom. I'm not gonna lie. I think almost every build that I did was very standard. It was the stand-up shower, the tub. I mean, I'm sorry, the sink and the toilet, and it was pretty much configured this way. I did notice when I play tested it though, for some reason, it gave me the okay to put that tub and toilet. Like, I mean, I'm sorry, why do you want to say tub? That shower. I'm sorry, the sink and the toilet. It gave me the okay to face them. But when she had to go use it, like I told you guys, I played in this one for like a couple probably like a sim week. It was a long time, because she even met the neighbors and everything. Anyway, when she had to go use the bathroom a couple times, well, the first time she waved her hands, she couldn't get to it, which was so weird, because I'm like, why would it give me the okay to face them together? And then when I have her go use it, it tells me no. And again, I didn't do move objects on. I know people are always in the comments like, you could just put move objects on. And I'm like, I know. But then I feel like we get way too relying on move objects on, and then when it's time to actually play the lot, it's unplayable. Because I've downloaded lots before where I'm just like, wow, this is beautiful. I get in there and the sim can't do anything. They can't cook, they can't use the bathroom, they can't take a shower, and I'm just like, wow, it was a really pretty lot, but now I got to go in and tweak it. So I try not to build with move objects on unless I'm doing clutter items, which don't have anything to do with your sim having to actually function it. They're just mostly for aesthetic purposes. I'll use move objects on for that stuff, but for you know, for like chairs and stuff like that, I just prefer not to. I just want them to be able to actually access the stuff. So anyway, that's her little dining area over there. I noticed, and I don't know if this was with the update or whether it's been there and I just never paid attention, but it used to be when you would size stuff down, it's still like the I guess the blueprint or like the little barrier for it would stay the same. And you, even if you size it down and look like it could physically fit in a space, it wouldn't, because it would stay the same. When I sized those plants down, normally they wouldn't have went where I put them. But once I sized them down, all of a sudden it gave me the okay to put them there. So I don't know if that was part of the update, or whether that's always been there and I just missed it. But I thought that was really cool, which is something that honestly is so funny. If it had been there all along, y'all, I'm gonna be loony toony crazy out my mind. Because I had always said, why when I size things down and it should fit, because I've sized it down to fit, it won't fit, and I have to put move objects on. So I've always thought that in my head, like I wish that that was a thing. And then all of a sudden I was doing it today, and I was like, oh, it's a thing now. When did that happen? So you guys gotta tell me in the comment box if that's really something from the update, or is that something that's always been and I'm just loony toony, because that's a possibility. Anyway, so I think right now we're working on the upstairs, and again, you're gonna hear me complain about, well, actually, no, you're not gonna hear me complain about the windows thing. I went with a whole different window this time. Did I not? No, I didn't. I did go with a whole different window. I'm sorry, not window, door. I went with a whole different door. I did not use the door from the pack. The door, singular, one door, which is fine. I'm not gonna complain about it, but no windows, which I did complain about. And so I had decided after the struggling with the last build, and I wanted this build to be like super airy, super open, ton of windows, just brightness all around, which is kind of contradictory to her because she's a loner, but I got all these windows in here. Anyway, I decided not to go with that door for that reason. So I ended up going with another door and went with these windows. And now we're just upstairs working on the top floor. I decided to go with the same color scheme because I liked how it looked on the bottom. And I figured since there was no doors separating the rooms, it would make sense to kind of continue that same color story from downstairs to the second floor. In my opinion, I feel like that's probably like the best thing to do. So I ended up doing that up there and putting her computer. I was going to leave it downstairs, but I figured it'd be more intimate upstairs. And she does have like a little patio, which goes from the upstairs to like the little balcony. And we work on that a little bit. I thought about putting a barbecue grill out there, y'all, but then I was just like, is she going to really go upstairs to grill and then go all the way back downstairs to the kitchen? Like going back and forth, getting stuff and then putting the food. I just was like, eh. Or worse yet, because y'all know how our Sims are, she would place it on one of these little side tables and it would drive me up the wall. So, but out there right now, which you guys will see in a little bit, I just put like 2 planters, so maybe she can grow like some little herbs or something from, that she could cook with, or just some flowers, just whatever, just for her to get outside, and just like a little chair so she can go out there and read or whatever. But I just thought it was a nice way to kind of do something different with the rounded out edges. I could have closed it all up and just used the space because truth be told, and I think I said this on the last build, I was like, I can't see doing any of these tiny homes for a family. But this one I think could have worked for a family if I would have closed in the patio, because I could have made this into 2 separate rooms, because this is a fairly big room for just one person. But I could have made it into 2 separate rooms. And so if you were to use this lot, you could close it off and put like a toddler room or like a child's room over there. Or even if you want to do like a roommate situation and have 2 roommates, I feel like it could work in this particular build. So it's not totally possible not to have a family live in these tiny homes. The 32, I can't see it, but the 64, especially this one, I don't know how, how the other configurations that could come from this, but the 2-story 64 like this, I totally think you could do it. I do. So anyway, I do like the fact that these tables, you could put stuff on the bottom shelf and the top shelf. And so I kind of played around with that by putting some stuff on the top and bottom. But, it's so funny. I'm playing without mods. I have a lot of cluttered items with mods. I would have had something to put in those, and I couldn't find anything else to put on the shelf. So I ended up just putting a box of tissue. I know, how boring. So here I am kind of playing around with carpets. I decided I wanted to do carpet upstairs as opposed to like the wood floor we did on the bottom, and trying to put pictures and stuff up. The funny thing is I was so excited about the pictures that we got, but then the more I used them, the more I was like, these are going to get redundant really quickly and they're going to get limited really quickly. So I ended up just trying to go with some different type of link paintings and stuff to put up. And then I put the curtains up there, which surprisingly, you can't put super big curtains on the second floor above stairs because it kept saying it'll interfere with the stairs, which I thought was kind of weird. So I ended up just doing those little valances that you guys saw. So here I am trying to put some windows and stuff downstairs. Like I told you guys, I wanted it to have like a lot of windows and just be like super bright and yeah, stuff like that. And I decided I was going to go on and lift it up a little bit because I just thought that would give it a little bit more character in the front. And like I said, I was trying my hardest not to do like a rectangular build. I think I succeeded a little bit. I do like how this this build came out. I think this one's a little over 30,000 simoleons. I want to say it rounded off about 31 if I'm not mistaken. So it's not going to be for a starter home, but it could be like the next level up for a sim. I guess it just depends. If I noticed one time I did the little sim story thing, and my sim actually came out with more money than the starter money, which I was surprised about. But anyway, doing the exterior right now, I had a tough time because I wanted to have like a nice curb appeal, but I didn't want to overpower like all the windows and stuff. I felt like the brick and stuff was just like way too much. Decided to go with siding, I think, eventually, if I remember correctly. I've been building like crazy, y'all. The last couple hours, I just been building like crazy. Anyway, I think, yeah, I ended up going with that siding. I felt like it was subtle and quaint enough to kind of like go with all the windows. It didn't take away from the windows or from the actual shape. You know, sometimes you could just overdo it. And I felt like the brick was going to be overdoing it. So decided not to put the grill like I told you guys earlier. And I decided to go with these little pots so she can just go out there and plant and sit outside. And I gave her like a little bike because I don't know. I just thought that that'd be kind of cute. I don't really play around with the bikes because I feel like they're still awkward. But, you know, hey, put it out there for her. So if she wanted to go biking or, you know, kind of get some exercise, she would do that over going to the gym, you know, because she's like my loner or whatever. But anyway, wrapping it up here, the build will be on the gallery if you guys want to download it. And if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe. I really appreciate it. And thumbs up the video and comment down below. Let me know what you think. And don't forget, I've been saying this like 1,000 times, I guess at this point. Well, not 1,000, only a couple times, but I would like to get to 20,000 subscribers by the end of 2020. I know it's a feat. I think I'll be roughly like what, 2,700 away at this particular point, I think. So I would like to. So if you guys want to help me out with that, I would appreciate that little subscription. Just click the little subscribe. It's, you know, just click it. Just click it. Don't even think about it. Just go and click it. And I'm hoping to do more videos and stuff soon. I'm just trying to play catch up and things of that nature. So don't even worry about the fact that you say, oh, she don't hardly upload. I used to upload daily. I just got a little bit behind because of life and things of that nature. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoy. Please let me know what you think down box down below, which is what I already said. And stay tuned for some live footage of the sim that I created in this lot, so you can kind of check it out. And I'll see you guys in the next one. There's one more build left, and it will be the small home, 100 by 100. Well, not 100 by 100, sorry. 100 tile maximum requirement. So I'll see you guys then.